It took me more than 6 months to film this video, not edit it, not publish it, just film the entire thing. And I kept telling myself I was preparing. I was researching, learning, getting ready. But honestly, perfectionism was just keeping me from starting. My name is Sylvia, and about a year ago, I wanted to start a YouTube channel. The only problem was I had no idea what I wanted to talk about and what my niche should be. Yes, that dreaded word, niche. I'm sure you've heard it from both sides. Some experts say you don't need to choose a niche, while others insist that you absolutely do. For me, though, having a general topic makes sense. Otherwise, my ADHD brain would start pulling me in 10 different directions, and I would end up feeling overwhelmed before I even began. So instead of choosing a topic and just making a video and figuring it out, I went into full research mode. I listened to podcast after podcast, interviews, audiobooks, YouTube tutorials, and just kept diving deeper and deeper. I was trying to optimize whatever I was going to do next without actually knowing what I was going to do next, which now that I say it out loud makes no sense. But at that time, I had a very convincing list of why I couldn't get started. I work full-time, I'm busy with my kids, I don't have the right equipment, I need a better camera. I spent $750 on buying a Sony ZV-1 camera, and I did tinker with it. But guess what I'm using to film this video? Yeah, my iPhone 17 Pro. Then it became, oh, the lighting isn't good. So I bought better lighting, but now I'm just really filming in front of a window, not even using it. Then it became, I don't like the furniture in the background. At one point, I was trying to schedule filming around the golden hour when the sunlight was the best, so then I can look my best. Vanity got to me. And after months of being stuck, I got really tired and finally hit record. I posted it and then deleted it a week later because it barely had any views and I thought I was a little bit cringe. So if you've ever taken weeks, months, or honestly years to publish something because of perfectionism, I really feel your pain. You know, I let the process completely get the best of me. Instead of just creating, learning, and moving forward, I overanalyzed every tiny detail. Every little decision became another delay. And all those small delays kept piling up until taking one small step forward felt impossible. I put myself in stalemate. At some point, preparation stopped being preparation. It became avoidance. Reid Hoffman, the co-founder of LinkedIn, once said, if you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late. And apparently, I launched much too late. I spent 6 months trying to eliminate every possible reason I might get embarrassed. But while I was preparing, I wasn't publishing and I wasn't learning. So Hoffman's quote has 3 main ideas. 1, launch sooner rather than endlessly polishing. 2, your original assumptions will inevitably be wrong. 3, delaying also delays the feedback that helps you improve. In other words, you and I cannot privately research our way into knowing exactly what viewers will respond to. We learn by publishing, seeing what happens, and making the next version better. Now I'm learning to tell that perfectionistic side of me to just go take a hike. Perfect is the enemy of good. If any of this sounds like you, you're probably really good at your job and like getting the details right. So where did all this pressure come from? I think all of us become who we are through some combination of genetics, our childhood, life experiences, and traumas. And for me, I think a lot of my perfectionism came from being criticized a lot as a child and my years of training as a pianist. I started playing piano when I was 6. During high school, I performed constantly. I majored in music in college and I became the pianist for the university orchestra. Playing with the orchestra was really exciting and fun, but it was also incredibly stressful, especially when the conductor looked directly at you and gave you the evil eye because you had just played wrong notes. Playing with an orchestra is completely different from performing a solo. You've got 80 other musicians around you playing all different parts. If the piano doesn't have a melodic line that's clear, it's very easy to get lost in the score. Everyone else is moving forward and you're trying to find where you are. In a live performance, there's no fixing a mistake. So the only cure was practice over and over until my fingers knew what to do without me even thinking. And by the way, this was the time before smartphones. No phones recording from every angle, no ring lights, no selfies, just traditional cameras. You took the picture, dropped the film off at the Photoshop, and found out 1 week later whether anyone had closed their eyes. So one year, I got to perform a solo at Carnegie Hall in New York City. And surprisingly, I wasn't that nervous. Looking back, I think I know why. I had practiced that Chopin piece so many times I could have played it in my sleep. My only insurance to avoid making mistakes and being completely embarrassed was the repetition of the practice. You always hear practice makes perfect. So back then, perfectionism was rewarded. It helped me become a really good musician, and later it helped me when I went on to become an eye doctor. Everything was a cycle of repetition, studying, reviewing, memorizing, and trying not to have a nervous breakdown. That way of working helped me succeed in school and in my career. But now I'm in my mid-40s. I'm realizing that the same traits that made me successful in the past is also the same trait that's keeping me stuck now. Because now I keep thinking I need to be 10% better before I can let myself move forward. I need to look better, sound better. I watch these younger creators and think, wow, they are so natural and so good at yapping. Meanwhile, why does my voice sound like that? Why do I suddenly not know what to do with my hands? And I finally realized this. Constant self-improvements before I even begin was just making me miserable. I felt like I was wasting time. Because I was. I spent so much time preparing that I actually never began. So if it's taking you months or even years to start your channel, post online, change careers, whatever it is, this might be what's keeping you stuck. And here's where it got weird for me. Perfectionism turned into self-consciousness. I've talked to patients all day long for years, so I figured talking to a camera would be fine. It was not fine. I would start a sentence and stop halfway because another thought came into my mind and decided there was probably a better word. So instead of talking like a normal person, I sounded like my brain was having hiccups. And here was the ridiculous loop that I was stuck in. I wanted to look good in camera without sounding like I was try hard. But I also worried that people might judge me for trying at all. So I wanted to be confident to be doing whatever I wanted to do before I had any reps in. That's not how confidence works. You begin awkwardly, you survive it, do it again, and that's the whole thing. But my perfectionist brain didn't want that answer. I wanted a shortcut, so I kept studying other creators instead, comparing the video number 500 to my video number 1. That wasn't good research or motivation. It became self-sabotage, wearing a fake little productivity outfit. Watching more videos never made me better. Past a certain point, it paralyzed me. If you're going through a major life pivot, maybe personally, career-wise, or just wanting to start a new venture, being a perfectionist can cost you. I know it has for me. So here are 5 rules I'm trying to follow now to recover from perfectionism. Rule 1, decide what good enough means before you start filming. For me, that means the audio is acceptable, the message makes sense, and there are no massive mistakes in my sentences. Once those boxes are checked, I need to stop improving and just move on and finish. Because if I wait until I can't find anything else to change, this video will be posted sometime in 2034. Rule 2, give yourself a deadline that cannot keep moving. Perfectionism loves unlimited time. If you give yourself 2 weeks, it'll take 2 weeks. If you give yourself 6 months, it will take happily 6 months, and then ask for an extension. So here's what I think we need: a launch date. A date when we stop adjusting, stop researching, stop doing retakes, and just post. Choose a date to film and a date to publish. And when the perfectionist in your head finds another problem, and it will, the date doesn't move. This video will probably still feel imperfect on the published date, but launch it anyway. Rule 3, measure repetitions, not results. My real measure now got a lot simpler. Publish a certain number of videos on certain dates. Because confidence doesn't come from endless preparation. It comes from reps. I have to constantly tell myself, reps over research, reps over research. Rule number 4 is short. Stop comparing your beginning to someone else's mastery. You're on day 1, they're on year 5. That's not a fair comparison, so stop judging yourself. Rule number 5, publish before you feel ready. So I want to tell you about Julia Child. And most people don't know this. She didn't learn how to cook until she was 37, And her first cookbook came out when she was 49. Her TV show didn't even start until she was 50. That show was basically taped live, so no retakes. Whatever happened, happened. In one of her early episodes, she's flipping this potato pancake and half of it misses the pan. It lands right on the stove, and you know what she did? She just scraped it back up and kept going. And she said something like, when you're alone in the kitchen, who's gonna see anyway? And people loved her for it because she was real and relatable. She didn't lose her audience by messing up. She built her audience by messing up and just going with the flow. Meanwhile, we waste too much time on perfecting one take. Julia just kept cooking. So that's my new rule. Keep it rolling, publish before you're ready, because the antidote for perfectionism isn't more preparation. It's letting people see you while you're still learning. And yes, this channel is called She Builds Income. So here's the business lesson I had to learn the hard way. Perfectionism has a price tag. Nothing I don't publish can ever make me $1. Perfect ideas and videos sitting in my head earn nothing. 6 months of research earn exactly 0. The only digital products that can ever build any income are the imperfect ones that actually go up. And honestly, that's what I'm going to try to do right now. This video is not perfect, but I'm going to post it anyway. I'm at this point in midlife where everything is changing. My career, my kids, becoming teenagers, my personal life. I don't know what I'll achieve or where I'll be a year from now. If you're also going through this midlife pivots and this phase of reinvention, I feel you. Let's figure it out together.